Alright, today we're going to take a look at one of the units that I've hardly bought at all since it came out last year, which it's kind of weird to think how long this unit has actually been available in the game, and I've hardly used it, and it is Dual Caterpillar. Now this pet got a buff recently. It used to be, its ability is kind of like Elk, in that it will give cell value by spending Trumpet. But honestly, it's probably one of the worst pets in the game, or at least it was in the previous version, because previously it would buff friends randomly, but now it's been altered so that it buffs the backmost two friends. So that means that you can much more easily control where you're stacking the cell value, and that makes a big difference in terms of the usefulness of this pet. Unfortunately, it's still a 1-1 stat line, so it is kind of a burden when you first bring it into your team. But we're going to try and make it work here with Hercules Beetle, which is a unit that I don't take too much in customs, except for the stat line. But in this one, I wanted to have multiple cell pets in the backline, and then save up their cell value until the late game, and then go for a big time pivot, much like you would if you were actually playing Elk anyway. So yeah, I guess this is a way for Rev to play Elk without actually playing Elk. Maybe I should have thought of that before I made this video. So for a change, we're taking Blackberry on the Chipmunk instead of Rice. I guess that's because the Frog is going to be level 2 soon, so we can stat swap off the Chipmunk and then have some free Blackberries to further increase our stats. I guess we'll find out soon enough. But we get a level 2 Frog. We'll go for level 2 Hercules Beetle as well. And there we go. We get the Dual Caterpillar, which at 1-1 stats is just, yeah, it's tough to justify taking it most of the time. Which is why we're going to have to go Frog Swap plus Gelada here to feel like this will make any sense. Really would have liked to have had it online earlier than this, because then we could, have saved up a lot more cell value for later, but I'm pretty sure we end up getting a decent amount of gold stocked here, even though the setup is a bit late. So yeah, I guess here I'm thinking about keeping the Chipmunk as the other cell pet. It doesn't have to be a cell pet at the back, but cell pets are going to give you the most value on pivot in the end. And it does look like we're going to use the Blackberry in order to activate both Geladas. I really need to make a concerted effort to record some videos where I don't take Gelada. Definitely feel like I'm pretty heavily reliant on it. Especially if I'm not going to take the late game scalers. This team looked fairly weak to begin with, but they did get a lot of stats there from the tuna, and so we do lose to the roach spawning at the very end. I guess I can just keep the Gelada here and keep increasing its cell value. Also strange there that I didn't take the Kappa pill. Maybe it's because I just want to try and get the Dual Caterpillar to level 2 and try and really make the cell value farming the focus of the run. Much weaker team here, so we are going to win. Pill Blob onto the Dual Caterpillar. I mean, it would have been great to go for level 3 here, but it's way too late for that, so we're just going to have to get it to level 2 now and hope that that's going to generate enough gold for the later turns. And so we level into Hydra. I'm going to keep that on the team because ultimately I'm going to have to sell this Hercules Beetle, and we want all the attack to go to a unit that actually is going to benefit from it. And to that end, the pack was stacked with as many of the attack-based units as I could fit in. So I don't think I had Leopard, but I definitely had Sleipnir and German Shepherd. And then this is a beautiful transformation here. We get the Sleeping Gelada into Crow, which now can be farming extra cell value from the Jewel Caterpillar. Or at least it would if we didn't then face Donkey. I guess the Crow will still get the cell value, but the Hercules Beetle misses out. A lot of people playing Chihuahua in Customs, I think. Definitely one of the strongest tier 1s, I would say. So we get the German Shepherd. And because I knew that this was going to be one of those games where the vast majority of the team was just going to be sold off right at the end, we definitely needed some sort of way to maximize the pivot, and German Shepherd is going to fulfill that role. So I'm going to sell the Hercules Beetle onto the German Shepherd, and then everything that we buy, the attack stats will be temporarily buffed for the following turn. So we can kind of play a buy-sell team with the later tier units, and hopefully cobble together a winning squad that way. This is actually quite a long run, I think. I don't remember if I began it on turn 1 or not, but it's not going to be plain sailing as soon as we bring this German Shepherd in, I can assure you. So yeah, it looks like I'm going to greed another turn. Since we have 3 hearts, we might as well. We want the Jewel Caterpillar on the team for as long as possible. Level 2 II here, that could be a bit of a problem. The 2 units at the back do survive from the crisp, so we do get the cell value onto the units that we actually care about. And yeah, you can see that the II is going to activate here, but luckily those units only end up with 9/9 stats, so we claim another win. So I think it must be time to think about the pivot now. It's turn 13. We've got 2 useless units in the back line. Okay, I'm going to greed one further turn, it looks like. We find another German Shepherd in the empty slot. There is Sleipnir there, but I think initially I'm just going to go for German Shepherds with the 1 Hydra and then try and flesh things out from there. Now, as soon as I see level 3 Geometric Tortoise, I'm suddenly panicking because this is almost definitely going to be a loss. Yeah. Geometric Tortoise, really no joke, and it's not even close. So now I think it's definitely time to go for the pivot. And we have to sell the Crow first because we want to make space. Okay, we're going to take the German Shepherd first. I'm sure we will sell the Crow. Yeah, 26 gold. Now I can't remember if I make a mistake here or not, where I sell the Hercules Beetle too early. Yeah, way too early. I don't know why I did that. That was a huge blunder after such a long wait. I think at this point I wasn't even really looking at the gold, which is ridiculous given that the entire point of the run was to have a really strong pivot. And definitely makes sense watching this back now, thinking, why did this run struggle once I got the pivot going? Well, if you throw away that much gold in one turn, then yeah, your odds of victory kind of plummet. But we're not in a terrible situation here. We do have 2 level 2 German Shepherds. And then we can also take units like Sumatran Tiger, where we know that we know it's going to faint at start of battle. But 36 attack can do a lot of damage, and then we'll just reposition so that we also get the summon. It's funny watching that back and thinking that is such a horrendous misplay, that if I'd noticed that before I started recording, I probably would have gone back into Customs to try and record something better. But honestly, it doesn't really matter. In some ways, I think it's better when there are misplays in games because it gives people something to comment about. There are definitely plenty of viewers who enjoy commenting on misplays, so that one was for them. So triple German Shepherd, I think I'm going to combine them together though, because the Hydra won't have enough space to spawn, I don't think. Yeah, because it does go to above 30 attack with the Pi. And then here's this Locust team that I'm sure a lot of people will have seen. Last weekend there was a bit of a matchmaking glitch and everyone was facing this person Or maybe they just put out a huge number of locust teams. But thankfully we're able to beat them there. And the number of locusts flung off the screen there was absolutely brilliant. I made a video about that ages ago. How many locusts, how many flings can you get in one battle? So if you want to actually watch that back and try and count how many they got, I would really like to know. But it's too much work for me. And we'll take German Shepherd here and then replace the Sumatran Tiger with Sleipnir, which is going to give us a pretty hefty mana snipe. Talking about that Locust team, there will be a clip at the end showing another battle I had against them where I think it was the most flings I've ever seen in a single game. Now, unfortunately, here we'll lose one of the German Shepherds because the health is so low. But luckily, we still have 4 Hydra heads. And the German Shepherd in the back survives on 2 HP. And then here on turn 17, 9 wins. I get this scenario which someone actually requested this a very, very long time ago. I don't know who it was. But someone wanted me to do this where I got the Warthog. We're buying the Warthog and then just pilling it with German Shepherd for the stats. That's probably taken like 2 years to actually incorporate that into a video. I wonder if that person is still watching. Actually, it might have been requested by more than one person, so hopefully that is one request satisfied at least. Now, unfortunately, on turn 17, we faced this gigantic, almost all 50-50 team, so we never had a chance. I think the unit at the front that was small had Cocoa Bean as well. I think it was just a Catfish Blue Ringed Octopus team, and yeah, they copied one of my units, so complete non-starter. And I've just frozen some more of the attack-based units to bring in with the German Shepherds. Now, of course, their attack has reset, so the second German Shepherd isn't giving as much. But we do find another G-Shep, which we might need to use next turn. And then we face this, an almost 100-100 Behemoth with Manta Ray. But because they have no equipment, I don't know why, because this Husky is doing almost nothing at that stage of the game. Just sell it and get some equipment on there. Here's a couple of other bonus clips from runs going for the same thing. This is super frustrating. With a different summon there from the Kappa, maybe we could have won, I'm not sure. But it was Takushi which actually just pulled the German Shepherd to the front of the team. So here's the clip I was promising with the Locust Flings. And because we have a summon squad, I think this was just a random pack. The pony ends up feeding the Locust a ridiculous number of times. Look at the number that get flung off screen there, and it's not over yet because the Tiger at the back is going to cause the Locust itself to launch again. So that was just an obscene number of Locust Flings. Let me know in the comments below if you can actually count them.